Stop scrolling. Seriously, stop. Because what you're about to hear may change the way you see Jungkook BTS forever. On Jungkook Lover today, we're diving into a moment that left ARMY around the world completely silent. No cheers, no screams, just shock. Jungkook has crossed a line no one expected him to cross, and he did it without saying a single word. What does this bold move really mean? Is this just a performance or the beginning of something much bigger? Before we reveal everything, make sure you like this video, comment your theory, and subscribe to Jungkook Lover because this story is bigger, deeper, and more dangerous than anyone imagined. ARMY didn't scream. They didn't trend hashtags immediately. They didn't even know what to say. For a few seconds, that felt like an eternity. The global fandom that is usually loud, emotional, and explosive was united by one rare reaction: silence. Jungkook BTS had just appeared, and nothing about him felt familiar. Not the gaze, not the aura, not the message hidden beneath his presence. This was not the golden Maknae everyone thought they knew. This was something else entirely. Something raw, daring, and unapologetically brave. From the very first second his image surfaced, a strange tension spread across social media. It wasn't excitement alone. It wasn't joy alone. It was confusion mixed with awe, curiosity tangled with fear. Jungkook didn't announce anything. He didn't explain. He didn't clarify. And that was precisely what made the moment so powerful. When an artist as globally observed as Jungkook chooses silence, every detail becomes a message. Every frame becomes a question. For years, Jungkook has been described with the same comforting words: talented, hardworking, humble, kind, reliable, the golden Maknae. The image was polished, admired, and protected. But behind that familiar narrative, there has always been another Jungkook, one who watches quietly, absorbs pressure, and grows in the shadows of expectation. And now, without warning, that hidden side has stepped into the light. What ARMY witnessed was not just a new look or a new concept. It felt like a declaration. A statement that didn't need captions or press releases. Jungkook stood there with a confidence that bordered on defiance, as if daring the world to keep him inside the box it had built for years. And for the first time, many fans realized something unsettling, yet thrilling. Maybe Jungkook is no longer asking for permission. The boldness of this appearance was not loud in the traditional sense. There were no exaggerated gestures, no forced shock value. The bravery was subtle, almost dangerous in its calmness. His eyes told a story of someone who has made a decision long before. The cameras turned on. A decision to stop holding back. A decision to be seen as he truly is, not as who the industry or the fandom expects him to be. Almost immediately, debates erupted. Was this Jungkook reclaiming his identity? Was he challenging the limits placed on idols? Or was this the first sign of a transformation that would permanently change BTS's narrative? Fans replayed clips obsessively, dissecting every second, every expression, every shadow. Because when Jungkook moves like this, nothing is accidental. What makes this moment even more shocking is its timing. The world is watching BTS more closely than ever. Expectations are sky high. Every step is analyzed, every move measured. In such a climate, choosing to appear this boldly is not just risky, it's fearless. Jungkook knows the weight of global attention. He understands the consequences of misinterpretation. And yet he still stepped forward. Some ARMY felt proud. Others felt uneasy. A few admitted they were scared, not because Jungkook did something wrong, but because he did something unpredictable. For years, predictability has been the safety net for idols. Jungkook just tore a hole through it. Industry insiders have long whispered that Jungkook has been preparing for a shift. That behind closed doors, he has been studying, experimenting, pushing himself beyond familiar limits. But whispers are easy to ignore. This moment made them impossible to deny. This wasn't practice anymore. This was execution. The bravery in Jungkook's appearance lies in what it refuses to explain. He didn't tell fans how to feel. He didn't guide reactions. He simply existed as himself, fully aware that interpretation would be messy, emotional, and divided. That level of trust in one's artistry and in one's audience is rare. As hours passed, silence slowly turned into discussion, and discussion into heated debate. Some fans praised his maturity, calling it the most authentic version of Jungkook they've ever seen. Others worried about backlash, about misunderstandings, about the price of being too honest in an industry that punishes deviation. And that fear only highlighted how brave this moment truly was. Because bravery isn't about shocking people for attention. It's about showing up as yourself, even when you know not. Everyone will follow you there. Jungkook didn't chase approval. He risked losing it. What does this mean for his future? Is Jungkook signaling a new artistic era where boundaries no longer exist? Is this the beginning of a darker, deeper, more personal narrative? Or is it simply a glimpse, a warning, that the Jungkook army thought they understood is only one chapter of a much larger story? One thing is certain. After this moment, things cannot return to how they were. Expectations have shifted. The bar has moved, and Jungkook stands at the center of a conversation that goes far beyond visuals or concepts. It's about freedom, control, identity, and the courage to change while the whole world is watching. As ARMY continues to argue, analyze, and emotionally process what they've seen, one question refuses to disappear. Was this Jungkook's boldest performance yet? Or was it his quiet way of telling us that the real transformation hasn't even begun? And if this is only the beginning, are we truly ready for the Jungkook who is no longer holding back? The silence that followed Jungkook's appearance was not empty. It was heavy. It carried years of expectations, projections, and assumptions crashing into a single unresolved moment. Across different time zones, ARMY sat with the same thought echoing in their minds. Did we really know him at all? Because what Jungkook presented was not a rebellion staged for attention. It was quieter, sharper, and far more unsettling. It felt like the calm before a storm that had been building for years beneath the surface. To understand why this moment felt so brave, one must understand the cage that success quietly builds. Jungkook debuted young, grew up under relentless cameras, and matured in a world that rewarded perfection while punishing deviation. Every smile was analyzed, every silence questioned, every personal expression filtered through public expectation. And yet in this appearance, Jungkook seemed to step beyond that invisible boundary, as if acknowledging the cage while refusing to be defined by it any longer. Fans began revisiting old interviews, old performances, old moments that once seemed insignificant. A look held a second too long. A lyric sung with unusual intensity. A comment brushed off with laughter. Suddenly, everything felt like foreshadowing, as if Jungkook had been telling this story quietly all along, waiting for the right moment to let its surface fully formed. What startled many was how comfortable he looked in this boldness. There was no hesitation, no nervous energy. This was not the bravery of someone testing limits. This was the confidence of someone who had already crossed them internally, and that realization shifted the narrative entirely. Jungkook was not reacting to the world. He was leading it. Industry observers noted how rare such moments are for idols at his level. Global icons are often expected to maintain a sense of familiarity, to remain emotionally accessible, yet carefully curated. Jungkook disrupted that balance. He became distant in a way that demanded respect rather than comfort. And in doing so, he challenged not only industry norms, but the emotional contract between idol and fan. Some ARMY struggled with that distance. They missed the warmth, the playful chaos, the comforting predictability. But others argued that this evolution was inevitable, even necessary. An artist cannot remain frozen in the image of youth forever. Growth by nature is uncomfortable. Jungkook simply chose not to soften that discomfort for anyone.